Chapter 11. Interview Game Face On. If your university or potential supervisor requires you to undergo an interview process, you'll need to be prepared for it. Not every university will require this, but some students may find themselves grappling with the anxiety of what to expect in such an interview. Be aware that your interview will most likely be scheduled with a faculty member in advance. This means that you'll have sufficient time to prepare, so don't delay. Here is what the process usually looks like. A potential student, such as yourself, contacts a professor. The professor looks at your documents, and if they find them suitable, they may arrange an interview session with you. After this, they will ask you to submit your application online. Accepting your interview date. Even if it's not required of you, it's always best to put your best foot forward by confirming your tentative interview date. Remember the principles that we looked at earlier in terms of formal email styling. This time around, you'll want to edit the subject header because when you hit reply, it will just quote the previous subject title with a re prefix. You can copy a part of the old subject line but edit it to reflect that you are confirming your attendance. So if your previous subject line read, Invitation-admissions interview for your name at tentative date, you could change this to read, Confirmation of attendance, admissions interview for your name tentative date. The importance of this is to draw attention to your email because you can use this communique to make a great first impression and you don't want it to go unread. Keep the body of your email succinct and express your gratitude for the opportunity. This shows that you are conscious of the reader's time and solidifies their perspective of you as a respectful and deserving candidate. In this case, you could use the following template and edit it to accommodate your needs. Dear Professor or Doctor name. This email serves to let you know that I will be attending the admissions interview on the advised date. Thank you ever so much for the opportunity to undergo the admissions interview process at your illustrious institution. Thoroughly looking forward to the interview, and I thank you in advance for taking your time to read this email. Sincerely, your name. Now, let's follow through with the steps to follow before and during your interview. Preparing for your interview. As always, keep the number of candidates in mind. The admissions officers will most likely be interviewing dozens of applicants on that particular day alone, so try to make yourself stand out. One thing that we can almost guarantee will come up is the admissions officer's desire to learn more about you. If you're asked to tell them more about yourself, try to focus on your academic achievements, and if there is time, you can add a short story about how you've been resilient in the past. Showcasing your ability to overcome obstacles through a story of past resilience will tell the officers that you have what it takes to face challenges and attain academic success. Be sure to showcase your passion for your field of study above all else, and mention how attending the university falls in line with your future ambitions. Overall, having such personal statements prepared well in advance will help you nail the interview. You don't have to memorize a speech word for word, but just mentally prepare for what you intend on saying in response to such questions. It's always good to keep copies of any files, letters, and personal statements that you have sent to your potential supervisor. That way, you can go over all of this information before the interview. Remember, the university will only know as much about you as they've been able to gather from these documents, so their questions will most likely be based on that information. Some faculty members tend to ask potential students to prepare a brief presentation about their thesis, as well as any courses they may have taken prior to this. Try to keep your presentation short and focus on the key points of either your thesis or previous body of work. Go over the course information again and try to envision what they might ask you in relation to what is expected of you in your first year of study. You basically want to make yourself look like the best fit in accordance with the entry requirements and the demands of the coursework. Finally, you'll be asked if you have any questions for them. This is your opportunity to really stand out. In most cases, people are so nervous and can't wait to get out of the interview, losing out on the opportunity to show that they are just as interested in the university as the university is in them. Ask pertinent questions about life, coursework, and the probability of you being able to take your studies even further should you be admitted and complete the program in question. How to answer interview questions. One of the biggest mistakes interviewees make is providing too little detail when answering a question. Be sure to always qualify and quantify your answers by including context, objective, details, actions, and most importantly, the results or outcome. When answering a question, be sure to use the STARS structure. Describe the situation you've been through. Describe the task you faced. Describe the actions you took to complete the task. Describe what happened and the result of your action. And mention the skills you developed or lessons learned. With that wrapped up, let's have a look at potential questions that you might be asked during the interview process. Tell us a bit more about yourself. Why do you want to study in this particular field? What attracted you to this university in particular? What about living in this country interested you? And where do you see yourself after completing the program? Once you've answered these questions and gone through questions of your own, continue impressing your potential supervisors with a great follow-up. Following up. It's important that you write a thank you note to the interviewees a day after the fact. This shows that you are truly interested in studying at the institution. Thank them for their time and go into brief detail regarding the impression that you now have of the university. Make sure that the body of the email conveys gratitude for the high-quality experience that you had during the interview, commending the interviewees. Just try not to lay on the vote of thanks too thick. You don't want to seem desperate or insincere. Remember to follow the formal layout as we looked at earlier. End of chapter checklist. Tick off each box when you feel that you know the answers to the questions with the utmost certainty. Did I keep copies of any documents sent to faculty members? If not, can I recall what I sent? Do I have a well-prepared personal statement to work from? And have I read up thoroughly on the program I've applied for and the university itself? For more information on interviewing, please visit our website, radviser.com.